What is up, everybody? This is the first part of a new video series I'm doing here on TULIP. That is the 5 points of Calvinism: total depravity, unconditional election, limited atonement, irresistible grace, and preservance or perseverance of the saints. Get ready, guys. This is going to be a lot that we dive into. I'm going to go pretty slow, but also pretty fast. I want to wrap up through this and go into some other topics I think you'll really like. And if you like something specific and you want me to go over something, leave it down in the comments and I'll make sure to get to it. I'm going to try and pump out a couple videos each week, but we're starting here with we're going to do it a little bit differently. So there is a song that I used to love. It's by Shai Linn and it is called Election. And we are going to go through it bit by bit and pull from the Bible what it's pulling from. And this is a really good way for people that are familiar with Reformed Baptist theology / Calvinism, or just Reformed theology in general. If you want to have something you can draw back on, memorize this song. It's called Election by Shai Linn. I did it when I was like 14. Amazing. It's actually hilarious, but it goes over every argument against it and for it. And I think it does an excellent job at bringing up all the relevant verses and then kind of countering the questions that people would normally have against it. So that's Election by Shai Linn. And it starts off, it does like some rap stuff, and then it says, first turn to Romans 8:28 through 30, and zoom in on verse 29, read the first line. And then it says, those who he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son. And it says exhibit number 1. But I'm going to stop there and we're going to go into it and break it down just a little bit. I let the verse speak for itself. We are in Romans 8:28 through 30. We're just going to read the whole verse right here, okay? Let me get this out of the way. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn among many brothers. And those whom he predestined, he also called. And those whom he called, he also justified. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. I love that last verse there, but we'll get into that in a minute. We're going to start at the beginning. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. All things. That means good or bad. A verse I often tie this back to is in Genesis 50, when Joseph is talking to his brothers, and they come to him, and they have done him so much wrong. They sold him into slavery, told his father that he was dead, and his dad thought he was dead, and Joseph had risen up to the highest rank, basically where he was Pharaoh. And he is talking to his brothers here in Genesis 50. And he says to them, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. I'm actually going to pull this one up because I think it's really, really important. Let's see here. Genesis chapter 50. I don't know exactly where it is in here. Let's find it. Whoa, there it is. I was right on the money with it. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, it may be that Joseph will hate us and pay us back for all the evil that we did to him. So they sent a message to Joseph saying, your father gave this command before he died. Say to Joseph, please forgive the transgression of your brothers and their sin because they did evil and they spoke to him. Because they did evil to you. And now please forgive the transgression of the servants of God of your father. Joseph wept when they spoke to him. His brothers also came and fell down before him and said, behold, we are your servants. But Joseph said to them, do not fear, for I am in the place of God. Am I in the place of God? As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. So do not fear, I will provide for you and your little ones. Amazing. they were terrified of Joseph. Absolutely terrified because of the evil that they had done to him. And he says, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." And all of those people that would have died in the famine, God is saving them. Jacob's whole household, Israel, God is saving them. And I want to point out specifically the word meant. A lot of people will say turned, but there is no translation that reads turned. You can look this up here. I'm not going to pull it up here, but look up any translation. It means meant. The Hebrew word for that translates exactly to meant, nothing else. Okay? And so it says, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. So back in Romans 8:28, go back to it here. Back in Romans 8:28, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. All things, even the evil act of Joseph's brothers selling him into slavery, was meant by God for good. And then it continues on, for those who are called according to his purpose. Okay? I'm going to skip over a few parts here. Verse 29. For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his son. To be conformed to the image of his son. So, this foreknowledge, this is not meaning he looks out into the future. God's outside of time. He looks out into the future a little bit along the timeline and says, oh, I see that you're believing and you're believing, and so I'm going to predestine you. That is not what this is saying at all. That is just a total misinterpretation of it. It says, for those whom he foreknew, knew beforehand. He knew them beforehand. Okay? This is pre-knowledge because he's planning it. He also predestined. He also predestined. So, including his foreknowledge of them, he also predestines them, okay, to be conformed to the image of his son. And then who is this talking to, this whole book? Romans. It's written to the church in Rome, so it's talking to Christians, okay? Paul is talking to Christians here. In order that he might be the firstborn among many brothers, okay? And it's specifically referring to salvation, because it says to be conformed to the image of his son. Okay. And then I'll continue on here. Verse 30. And those whom he predestined. Same word as before, and the verse before this. And those whom he predestined, he also called. So, he predestined them to be conformed to the image of his son, but he also called them. He did the initial calling. And those whom he called. Okay, so God calls, God the Father, he calls us. He predestines us. He calls us. Okay? Next line here. He called, he also justified. Okay, so those whom he calls, he also justifies. Justifies meaning made righteous in God's image, or in the sight of God, made righteous by Jesus' atoning blood on the cross. He also justified. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. This is really important here. It is a 3 parts, so it's 3 parts here, but oh so important. He calls, and those whom he calls, he justifies. Okay? And those whom he justifies, he glorifies. There's no us in there. There is no us justifying ourselves. There is no us glorifying ourselves by any works. God does the calling. He predestines us. He does the calling. He does the justification. And he does the glorification. And every person that is called is justified. Every person that is justified is glorified. The key part there, everyone that is called is also justified. And I'll go over to here. I have a few things written down. Verse 28, all things for good. Paul is not saying everything is good, but that God is so sovereign, so infinitely wise, that he bends everything. The heartbreak, the confusion, the sin of others against you, for the ultimate good of those whom love him. And I actually don't like the word bends here. I'm going to say intends. And change it. Intends everything. For the ultimate good of those who love him. Piper would say this. This is a little bit like how John Piper would say it. God is not reacting, he's orchestrating. And Jonathan Pokluda, I love this guy. If you haven't watched him, look him up, Becoming Something. It's amazing. Even the stuff you hate is being used to make you holy, not just happy. I love that. I love listening to his stuff. Verse 29, foreknew, predestined to be conformed. Foreknew here is not God looking down the corridor of time. It is God setting his covenantal love on someone before they existed. It is God saying, I choose you. I know you. You are mine. And the goal of predestination is not abstract theology. I love this part. It's transformation. That whole 3-part series that we read calls us, he justifies us, and he glorifies us. It is transformation. That we would look like Christ. Back in the beginning, predestined to be conformed. That we would look like Christ. God's plan is not mainly to get us out of hell, but to get hell out of us. We are all innately evil, born in sin, unrighteous. And to make us reflect his Son. That's his goal, to make us reflect his Son. Verse 30, called, justified, glorified. These are the unbreakable links in what theologians call the golden chain of salvation. Called, God doesn't just invite, he awakens dead hearts. Justified, he declares sinners righteous by the finished work of Christ. Finished work of Christ. Glorified, so certain is our future perfection that Paul speaks of it in the past tense. Not glorifies, not glorifying, glorified. I love this part right here. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. It's so certain that you will be glorified that Paul is literally giving it past tense. I'll skip over those other things, something just kind of written out the way John Piper would explain it and Jonathan Pokluda would explain it. I don't remember where I heard them say this, so do not quote me on this. If God starts the chain, God finishes the chain. And Pokluda, if God put you on the team, he's not trading you. He's carrying you all the way home. I love that. Now, obviously, that brings in some issues. You have to know, basically, all the points here. One of the main ones is total depravity. That's why it starts with it, total depravity. Romans chapter 3 says that no one is good, no one is righteous, all do evil works. The venom of asps is under their tongue. And so we know that no one's righteous and no one is good. And God doesn't just invite, he awakens the dead heart. So he does the calling of us. And so that is pretty much it for this video, I think. I'll move on to the next part of the song. I need to pull up the lyrics here or something and get it written down. But if you liked this, let me know down in the comments. If you have any questions or if you have thoughts on this, let me know. Tell me. Tell other people. Explain your thoughts. I'm trying to hit 50 subscribers, I think it is, so I can go live. And I will have like a few debates with people on live. Y'all can ask your questions. I'll try and answer them. But I think it'll be really fun. So hit subscribe. Help me hit 50 subscribers so that I can go live on here. And I'm just starting. So if you hit subscribe, I hit 50. Come on for a live stream. Ask me some really hard questions and challenge me because I'm not great at this yet. I'll admit it. But I'm getting better. So hit subscribe. Follow along. Hit the like button. Comment down below your thoughts. Any questions you have or verses you want me to go over or other things you'd like me to do. Take care, guys.